Alrighty, what is up, guys? Welcome back. Evan Aldo here. Wanted to give you guys an update in the markets, kind of what I've been doing lately. We'll talk about the odds, whether we're going to jump up from here or go down lower. I'm leaning more on, rejecting from potentially where we are right now and going lower. We'll talk about that. If you enjoy the content, always appreciate you guys smashing the like button. So I was in a Sol short, still am in that Sol short on another account. I think I'm in that over on BloFin. Right now I'm in the Sol short. That one did pretty well. That was a trade in the Discord. If you guys are interested in the Discord, a lot of really good TA. We got Nightshade in there. We got KMac, as well as myself, with a lot of really good entries in there. Link in the description below. And these are the two trades I'm in over on JUMPEX right now. Doing relatively well right now. And you can also see the funding rate is still generally positive. It's like an ETH, slightly negative. So, for that, that's one of the reasons why I think it still makes sense to come down lower. There's no like major kind of short squeeze being created just yet, in my opinion. And by the way, if you guys want a free month in the Discord, if you sign to any exchanges down below, BloFin, JUMPEX, or Bybit, I'll give you one free month in Discord. Just open a support ticket in Discord. Go over here once you signed up and deposited at least $100. Open a support ticket in Discord right there. If you want to pay in crypto, the info's there as well. Just put in your UID and we'll get you sorted. BloFin, with my link, you get 10% cash back. There's also a pretty good deposit bonus, and only with my link, good 10% cash back is 10% off fees essentially. JUMPEX, really good deposit bonus right here. And last but not least, we have Bybit, which is a $500 position airdrop. You only have to deposit $100 and you got a good shot of getting that. So it's a 5x on your money to do one nice trade with one of these, nice pairs. If you lose it, no big deal. It's a free bonus. So check that out if you're interested. Let's get into the analysis right here. So basically, the big debate obviously here is, are we going to reject from this area that we're hitting? It's linear spiral lines on both Bitcoin and Ethereum right now that we're hitting, and we rejected from it, as you can see right there. And do we keep going down or do we kind of recover here? That's a big question. Now, when you look at those things, I would lean a little bit more towards the bearish case, because you're getting one of those patterns typically, on a time frame like the 3-hour. 3 LXs so far, I would guess one or two more down to probably somewhere around 50K. On the low end, 49.5K. So there's still hope of potentially making a higher low here. What was this? 40. Okay, this on this exchange was 49.1 on Coinbase. So yeah, there's definitely still hope of making a higher low if you hit that, in a few days, making a higher low here and potentially jumping off of there. I think there's a good shot of that. But like I said, in the short term, it does, especially with that 3-day, that money flow, it does look like we will, in all likelihood, go down farther. Before that happens, you absolutely could jump back up to 58. I don't have a crystal ball. Anything could happen here. For all I know, you could have already bottomed out. But in all likelihood, that's how we look at things, in terms of probability, in terms of likelihood, we will most likely come down lower. If you lose this pocket right here, you're looking at 46K. The big question, a lot of you guys are probably asking and thinking to yourselves, especially people that have a lot of money in crypto right now, altcoins, Bitcoin, what have you, or even people with money in the S&P 500, NASDAQ, is, are we going to go into a recession? Is this going to dump on us? Is the market cycle over? So if you think we're going to hold the 4-year cycle, and I don't see a significant reason to bet against the 4-year cycle, I think the only thing that really could keep us out of that is a recession, unemployment continuing to go up higher. Those are the main things I could think that could, bring us down to, 30K, you name it, around here, 30K probably, or even lower, a catastrophic bear market correction. We're talking down, between a 50% correction at least, probably 50 to 70% bear market type situations. Recession is what you kind of need for that, I think. Fed is about to, pivot in about a week, 10 days, I think, 11 days, I think, to be exact. They're going to see more rate cuts. If we follow the 4-year cycle, guys, let's look at Bitcoin versus the DXY quickly here, because I did that out here. And, if you guys don't really know what this means, this is kind of more of Bitcoin adjusted for inflation. We're right here, essentially. There was a lot of fear in later 2020, similar to where we came down, where we're coming down right now. Same thing happened in August and almost into September of 2016. So if you want to make the argument that we're going to get up to 100K or 150K, those areas, which I still would be in that camp. I still would be in that camp. There are a lot of smart people, though. Yeah, I'm not going to deny it. There are a lot of smart people talking about, that we're not going to get that high and that the bull run's over. They could be right. I don't know. I absolutely respect their opinion, but maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe I'm smoking the hopium, but I think you got a good shot of potentially coming down, maybe making a higher low, maybe making a lower low or something, and then recovering into the election, into next year, and then finally getting up at some point next year up to 80K, up to that even 100K, 100 to 150K, these kind of areas, and, sometime in 2025. That's the 4-year cycle. It may not work out. The weekly, it's coming down. It looks pretty bearish, but, if you look at the 2-week here, you still got time to go. According to this, you still got some time to go. We're getting towards that area. We're going to see more money injected into the system as the Fed lowers interest rates in the coming months. If interest rates get back to near zero again, back to lower, they're not going to get as low as they were during pandemic, but if they keep going lower and more money comes into the system, I think you could keep that 4-year cycle and continue forward. Again, I know I'm getting repetitive here, but just look at what happened. There was a hell of a lot of fear in September of 2020 in the 4-year cycle. And look what happened. We jumped up. Maybe history doesn't repeat exactly like that. Maybe we come down. But that's all I'm going to say right now. In terms of real short term, what could sometimes I look at, and we're kind of in no man's land a little bit. We're kind of rejecting off of that linear spiral line. I would guess you would bounce around some more. My guess is based on that yellow X, you could drop down a bit more here. Moving on to Ethereum, similar situation. Come on. Similar situation right here. This could make a lower low while Bitcoin potentially makes a higher low. ETH has generally been bleeding against Bitcoin. I think by the second rate cut, I think this will hopefully find a bottom against Bitcoin. I'll talk about more about that in a second. Money flow coming down. Nothing's looking like a exact bottom just yet. It's looking more like we'll continue to reject from this area. You're about to get probably a yellow X or a red dot in that 3 hour. This looks like, look at the red dot red dot red X continuing forward here. Trigger wave, those two trigger waves kept bringing you lower. This next one I think can as well. So I'm kind of looking at Ethereum short term. Maybe you come back up to these levels, top of that pocket right there. The logarithmic ones, which are slightly stronger, I would argue, could bring us up a little bit more here. So that's what we got to keep in mind right here. But like I was saying, I think we can, come down a bit more. If we look at, let's just look at the ETH versus Bitcoin right now. And I think that once you kind of get this 2-week bull div situation, money flow coming up and all that, that's when I think you could potentially finally see a bottom on this. I think you're getting close, based on the Fed, cutting rates and all that. Generally, the first rate cut, after that, you would see things come down a little bit more. I could see things still coming down, into October or whatever. Maybe we do something of this nature. We come down here, we get a bounce upward, Fed rate cut, come up to here or even here, and then October you really shoot down finally. I mean, 1800 seems kind of low, but maybe you just come back down to kind of that 2000 area, or maybe this time we just come down, make a double bottom, get everybody excited, rate cut, and then right here back to 2000. That's finally it. That's kind of the main possibilities I'm looking at the moment. Moving on to Solana. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, kind of the same situation. Hitting a huge, kind of huge area. If you do go lower on Solana, I mean, kind of the lowest I can see you going at the moment is around 100, high 90s, 100 at the moment. You could lose that and go to 80, but we'll talk about that when the time comes. It does look, the high time frames still look bearish. You bounced off of this pretty big area. Now you're messing around with the spiral line again, rejecting from the spiral line, just like bouncing around it, at least just like Bitcoin and Ethereum have done. So my guess here could be wrong, hard to predict kind of on a weekend, but my guess here is you would probably generally reject from this spiral line and come down to this area and then potentially make a drop down to 106 or something over the next month maybe. This is end of October. You're going to see 105, that area right there, which could be big. So that's what we got to keep in mind. Not seeing a bottom on Solana just yet. Obviously, that could change. A little trigger wave right here in the 2 hour. That could bring you down. I mean, kind of a low risk, high reward. And I posted some similar trade setups in the Discord for Bitcoin and Ethereum, but back down to this low, pretty low risk, high reward. Even here's not bad. I'm trying to take that trade. Could be risky. It's the weekend, but something like that absolutely could work out. Remember, if you're going a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, you only need to win about 40% of your trades to be profitable. Even 50% would be excellent. So it's all about risk management there. If we move on to just a few of the other popular altcoins, I mean they generally are bouncing around. I think that some of the things we got to realize, this trigger wave, that's kind of this trigger wave right here to this anchor wave on Cardano and on a lot of altcoins right now. Once you get this, which probably at the latest you would see this print at the end of October, early November. Once you get that, that's where we could kind of start the next, if you want to be bullish, amplified on Cardano, get that point and then start the run up back to $1. And then hopefully you would hope for, breaking above $1 and getting back up to $2, getting back up to all-time highs. There's not much between there. So that would be your really, your bullish case for Cardano, at least at the moment, or at least on the macro there. Chainlink, that's another one, trigger wave kind of forming. Well, yeah, I mean, trigger wave kind of generally, coming up from that point, you're not really nullifying the more bullish things in money flow coming up unless you come back down to freaking like $6 or something. So that's what we got to look at there. And then potentially jumping off of this area on Chainlink, that's almost looking like it wants to hold the level, but I'll believe it when I see it. I'm kind of thinking more of trigger wave forming here in the 3 hour and repeating, that situation potentially here, and maybe, coming down back down to that area and then potentially $8.76 there. So that's what we gotta realize with Chainlink. Now, what's funny, I know, people make fun of me for looking at this, and I mean, I probably deserve it. I don't know what my obsession is with this, but ApeCoin didn't drop too bad while everything else, kind of dropped. It actually has generally come up on the daily here, and it's breaking upward. I don't know. Does anyone know what's going on with ApeCoin? Why it's like looking so bullish while everything else kind of isn't regular, I wouldn't say so bullish, but looking better in a lot of other things at the moment, kind of W pattern, potentially jumping back up to $1. Interesting what's happening there. So we'll kind of have to keep our eye on that. In terms of like altcoins, against Bitcoin, others versus Bitcoin is interesting because you're kind of getting to that point and you're getting that same trigger to the anchor wave over there. Money flow is coming up on that 2-week. So in terms of bottoming out against Bitcoin, I think we're very, very close. You can go lower, sure, you could break lower, but I don't know. I kind of have a good feeling about this. I feel like you may not break that much lower on others versus Bitcoin. I think we're kind of seeing max pain and apathy towards the kind of altcoin market overall right now. So, I think the most sense with altcoins is kind of DCAing in until like December, a few months or something. I kind of have all the altcoins I want right now, but I may make some more purchases when you get that 2-week trigger wave on a lot of these. Solana as well would probably be. Oh, that's the sole one that like doesn't have that pattern, but Chainlink definitely would have that pattern. That kind of that wave right there. Buying more, buying when you get to that area. For example, like Cardano versus Bitcoin, I think you can come down a little bit more here. You probably bottom somewhere between 400 and 500, Satoshis per Bitcoin. 400, 500, 400, 500 Satoshis per Cardano, per ADA. If you go below, 400, then you're kind of game over. 20% down would be kind of on the low end of what I would expect right now against Bitcoin. Matic versus Bitcoin is interesting. Similar situation. It does look like you will come down a little bit lower, but I think you're getting there, unless you think it's a dead project and all that. But, altcoins, it's that diversification among altcoins. We know some of these are going to do very, very damn well over the next 12 months, 12 to year to year and a half, essentially. We know some of these probably won't do too much, but if you have a good portfolio of a lot of good ones, you got a good shot at it. So yeah. And anyway, guys, it's pretty much all I have to update you guys with right now. If you guys are interested in this Discord, check the link down below. If you guys are interested in trading, check out these really good promos, 500 position airdrop, JUMPEX. You got the deposit bonuses right here. And then BloFin, there's deposit bonuses plus only if you sign up my link, 10% off fees. Check those out if you guys are interested. All right, guys, smash the like button. Goodbye.